Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. It's 106 right now and temperatures are in the upper 20s. All in all, it's not too bad of an afternoon out there. All things. Oh man, I can't do this. We got to start this show over. This is a train wreck, Bridgette. Oh my. You know the direction I'm going. It's not bad outside. How was your day going?
Should I just talk for you at this point? You just move your lips. I'll talk as best as I can.
Bridgette, do you need me to fill in for Justin here since he can't get the words out?
At this point, we're going to need a lot of help. Could you see who's all in the office, Chase? Bring them all in.
I'll just bring them in one at a time. We'll just fill in for Justin.
Hey, there we go. I appreciate it, guys. You always got my backs.
So, hey, I am in bright, sunny Bismarck right now, and it's not bad. I will say when you first took off out of Fargo this morning, most people saw fairly snow-covered roads, a lot of slush, but it's warmed up. The ground's warm, and so we're seeing a lot of melting right now. People are able to travel a little bit more easily than they were earlier.
Yeah, we're starting to see clearing skies across the state right now after a cloudy start to the day. It's going to go pretty sunny here pretty soon for just about all of us. I'm going to share something on my screen for those that are watching us live stream on Facebook or YouTube Live. This is satellite imaging, and it might be coming a little choppy for some of you, but what we're looking at here is the cloud cover. Anything that you see in green, that's bare ground, that's snow cover across the state. So these clouds are pushing out of the area, and it's going to turn out to be fairly nice out there pretty soon with a lot of sunshine, just well below average from where we should be. We should be in the upper 30s. We're going to top out right around 30, so there's still room for improvement. But, you know, at this point of the year for January, what'd Dean say? What was his joke? 77th or something? 30 degrees doesn't feel too bad.
It's a marked improvement. We also have very little wind today. I think folks are pretty happy about that. Snow totals were pretty excessive. I think we had probably 6 to 7 inches just in northern Cass County where I live.
Yeah, from what I was seeing at 10 a.m. this morning, it was about 6.5 inches in Moorhead, 6 inches in South Fargo, I want to say, 4.5 in West Fargo, 3 in Grand Forks, 4 in Valley City, 3 to 5 down the Southern Valley, and about 3 to 5 over into Lakes Country. I think Moorhead was the highest official report that had come in as of 10 o'clock, which was a little over 6.5. But, you know, that's enough snow to take the snowblower out. I had it out earlier, even though we only had 3 inches of snow. It's wet and heavy snow, and I'm not flinging it with a shovel, so I let the machine do the heavy work for me.
I think that's probably best, yes. So otherwise, we're facing a pretty good stretch here for a few days anyway. It might be colder, but a little less snow, and I think we'll all take that.
I think most of us will, and I want to touch on this because we were saying this on the morning shows. I think we mentioned this the other day that this Friday we will go down as the second longest stretch without a day of 40 degrees or warmer here in Fargo.
Pause for dramatic effect. Is that what you're doing?
Why did you bring that up?
Hey, let's take it a step further there, Jace. If we can make it to April 11th without hitting 40 degrees or warmer, we will go down as the longest stretch. So at this point, go big or go home, right?
Shut up!
I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to that, Justin. I mean, this is like Dean said, June or January 77th or 85th or 112th. I'm not sure anymore. Can we just get above 40 degrees sometime soon?
Here's the good news. We're about to turn the page from January 77th to February 1st.
Oh, the light is at the end of the tunnel, my friends. I cannot
We're
wait.
almost there, man. We're almost there.
It's so close.
Oh, man.
You guys are killing me. Really, it kind of hurts my heart a little bit. So let me say something positive. And that is, for those who are listening, if you have questions or if you want to comment on what the weather and the road conditions have been like while you're traveling, please feel free to give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes hotline today. You can reach us at 701-293-9000. We'd be overjoyed to hear what you think as we go from, again, January 28th 78th actually to February 1st here very soon. It'll get
Yeah, and
better.
Red
I
Wings,
swear.
Red Wings shoes. Their store is located on 3003 in Main Avenue in Fargo. Go check them out while you're there. You can check out their vast boots and shoes designed for walking, hiking, backpacking, and the great outdoors. But also, they're great for everyday shoe wear. So go check those out while you're over there. I'm gonna have to go see if I can sneak a pair out of that store because I took a look at them and they do look like some nice shoes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, as a farm kid growing up, they were my dad's favorite boots, and my brothers actually still wear Red Wings as well. They are a family tradition
Mhm.
for us. Nice,
I
nice
have I
boots.
have a really old pair of Red Wings I got when I was 18. About to be 28. I've had them for 10 years and they're still holding up. So they make some good quality shoes and boots over there. But
Uh,
we got some
I
fun
was going to
things
make
coming
fun
up
of
on the
your age,
show.
but I was going to make more fun of your age, but I'll let that slide. So,
What comes
anywho, what's
around
coming
goes
up on the
around,
show?
Bridgette.
All right, what's coming up on the show?
Well, we got some fun things we're going to talk about today. A few of the ag topics that we're going to discuss, or at least try to discuss. One of them is a better bred tomato. And those
Okay,
that listen often know how you and me go back and forth about gardening and how everything's going. So I'm interested to see what this better tomato is all about.
stop right there. Let me fill us in on this whole deal. All right. Sound Agriculture has launched what they're calling the Summer Swell tomato. It's a new slicing tomato that they grew it using on-demand breeding, which is a non-GMO process that uses epigenetics in order to develop the trait in the plant 10 times faster than what current methods do. Now, Sound Agriculture is based out of California. They said what this shows is a tomato that will stay on the vine longer, which increases its flavor and sweetness. It also handles transportation once picked even better. But here's the part I like. Unlike many heirloom tomatoes that only last in your kitchen for maybe 3 days, this has a shelf life of 8. So I like the fact that
Wow.
it's available, but right now it's being distributed in the New York area. So I'm sending in our request that you and I are definitely going to need some of these plants so we can test drive them for zone 4 where we live.
What did you say the name of this was? The
The
hybrid
summer
breed.
swell. The summer swell.
Oh, what a perfect name.
Are you Googling it right
I'm gonna
now or
I'm
DuckDuckGo?
no, I
Isn't that
will
what
be Googling it during the break.
isn't the summer swell? Isn't that like out in California along the coastline there?
Yeah, you stay away from
We don't
those
talk.
swells. They'll get you.
They get
Yeah,
the undertow will
we
get
don't,
me there.
Hey, you know
we
all
don't talk
about
about
those
dangerous
swells,
things.
That's true, I do.
though. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about too many swells here.
Probably not. But
That's
back
only
to
as
this
the Lake
tomato.
Choke people.
I love the idea of having this tomato for the summer, especially as someone who gardens in cans, much like yourself, Justin. I think this is coming in as a heavier tomato, so you have a little less water content to it. So when I'm making
Hmm.
spaghetti sauce, etc., I think it would be an ideal addition. So as soon as I can find out how to get a hold of it, I will get some and maybe not tell you.
Ooh, that's dirty. You see here, I was about to say
Wow.
that I'm gonna send some emails after the show and see if I can get us some seeds, so that way we can see who can grow them better.
All right, you're the better quality individual. You go right ahead. See what you can do for us.
Nah, it's
All
okay.
right,
I
that's
like your
awesome.
angle a little better. It fits my personality. I was just trying to be nice.
Dirty pool. Here we go. All
Dirty
right,
pool. There
what
we
other
go.
topic do
Uh,
you?
well, we got some other topics that we're going to sneak in here, and a few of those. There's one from yesterday. This was a shorter stature corn variety, and some other topics we're going to
Okay.
try and sneak in here, as well as domestic fertilizer plant. There's an update from the USDA on that, and also there's a weed shaver. I can only imagine what this is going to be about, since we've talked about burning them, shocking them, chem bombing them. Yes, I mean, anything you can do to get rid of the weeds, why not give it a shot? So we'll touch on that as well. And also coming up on the show, we're going to have a guest with us that'll be joining us in the next segment. And that's Justin Quandt, correct? He's a hog producer, Bridgette?
Yeah, Bridgette is trying to
Did we just
restart
lose
her.
Bridgette?
Yes, we did.
I see. Well, that's all right. Well, while she's doing that, let's take a quick look at this forecast, and then we'll head to break, and we will get Justin all squared away with us. And if you would like to join in during that interview, join our conversation, ask questions, feel free to do so by calling us on the Red Wings studio line at 701-293-9000. But what we're looking at for current conditions right now, we'll be looking for clearing skies into this afternoon, meaning mainly sunny to partly cloudy by the end of today. A lot of us are already getting in on those mostly sunny skies with a northwest wind 10 to 20 that will be relaxing as we head throughout the day. Temps upper 20s to low 30s. Tonight, temperature is going to vary quite a bit around the area, and that's all due to a variation in clouds that will pull back in during the overnight hours. Partly to mostly cloudy is what I'm saying. We'll see temperatures anywhere from about 20 above to 10 below. Yes, I know that's a wide range. It's a 30-degree stretch, but those that see the clearing skies most favorable throughout the central and northern valley and northwest Minnesota, at least for a couple of hours, will drop below zero tomorrow morning. Most of us will be in the single digits to mid-teens. We'll drop down to a low about 7 here in Fargo. As for Thursday, partly cloudy, mid-20s, right around 32 on Friday, and we're in the upper 20s to low 30s over the weekend. We are tracking another potential big storm. I'll touch on that towards the end of our show at the end of next week. So hopefully, not more snow to add to the snowpack. I got a little stat on that we'll sprinkle in during the show as well. But we're going to hit our break real quick. When we come back, we'll get connected with Justin Quandt, the Hog producer. Again, if you want to join in on the conversation, feel free to do so. 701-293-9000. Stay tuned. Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be right back.
Do you suffer from stiff, achy, chronic knee pain? Have you been told you have arthritis? Is knee pain keeping you from enjoying your favorite hobbies? If so, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Please listen carefully. If we find you are a candidate for our unique approach, we will do a trial treatment, and day one you will know, without a doubt, if we can help you. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-502-6200. And best of all, we may be able to reduce and even eliminate your knee pain without pills, shots, or surgery. Due to limited capacity, you must call now at 701-502-6200. Hurry. Call now to find out if you qualify for our program that is changing lives and helping people save time, money, and agony. Call now 701-502-6200. You have nothing to lose, so call right now.
Don't worry about it. Just take it to Bailey's.
Hi, I'm Rinda, and we have teenage drivers. Therefore, we have had the opportunity, or should I say opportunities, to utilize many of the services that Bailey's has to offer. From minor scratches to major dent repairs, the team at Bailey's does not disappoint. They work with our busy schedules and within our budget. We love Bailey's so much that we give their detailing packages as gifts as well.
Check out Bailey's Auto Body for your collision repair needs at Bailey'sAutoBody.com.
Just take it to Bailey's.
The City of Carrington, North Dakota is accepting applications for a full-time police officer. Applicants must be North Dakota Post Board licensed and licensable. Salary $50,000 to $65,000 depending on experience. Go to carringtonnd.com for an application. Resume and references are a must. If law enforcement is what you're looking for in a beautiful city like Carrington, North Dakota, apply for this full-time police officer position today. Call 701-652-3388 with any questions.
At Comfort King, we build the world's best mattresses
To help you sleep.
We invented the Lifetime Comfort Guarantee.
To help you sleep.
Comfort King invented Float Gel, the most comfortable cushion on the planet.
To help you sleep.
When you visit our showroom, we can show you how wonderful it is to sleep in zero gravity.
I'm in zero gravity right now, and I may never get out of bed.
Come to Comfort King. We've got the sleep. Are you sleeping? This happens all the time.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic
Okey-dokey,
Eraser and
Squidward.
Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
Welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readel Ag Director, joined by Justin Storm, Meteorologist. And it's going to be like a double Justin kind of day because we have a guest today talking about raising bacon seeds. Maybe I shouldn't call them that, but hog production in North Dakota. And we are joined by Justin Quandt. He is from Oaks, North Dakota. Justin, did you get much snow last night?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, probably at least 6 inches, but the good part was the wind was only blowing 15 or 20, so not terribly drifted in.
I like how we all justify it now. I called my brother earlier and I said, how much snow did you get? And he goes, we only got 6 inches of snow. It's one way to put it, right? We're all just taking it in stride. So Justin, tell us all about your production facility down at Oaks. Love to know more about your operation.
So yeah, we have two 4,800 head facilities. We've we built them as feeder to finish barns, and we've done wean to finish, feeder to finish turns. We've done a few nursery turns. We had gestating sows in there when another barn blew down. And right now we're on gilt development unit is what we'd technically be called right now.
So you use some terms there that a lot of folks who are not in the livestock industry, especially when it comes to hogs, might not be familiar with. So if I got it all right, you've got capacity for 4,800 head of hogs. What's the difference between feeder, finish, nursery? What are all those things?
So your normal feeder to finish barn, the pigs will come in at roughly between 50 and 70 pounds, and then you'll raise them up to 300-pound fats to go to a butcher plant. The wean to finish, they would come straight from a sow facility, which when we were doing that, they were coming in at 12 pounds, and then we'd raise them up to 300 pounds. A nursery turn is where they come in at 12 pounds and then they leave at that 50 to 70 pounds.
Okay.
And then I guess the gestating sows are mama pigs that weren't ready to actually to have little ones to farrow yet, but we were just housing them until the other barn got fixed because the roof got blown off in the heavy windstorms last spring.
Okay, windstorms, got it. That makes sense. So when you're talking about where the little 12-pounders come from, as far as a nursery, where do those are those brought in from another state? Where do you source those little guys?
When we started, they were coming from northern Montana. Now they're actually coming from Missouri. And then when they leave our barn, with being a gilt development unit, a gilt is just a sow that hasn't been bred yet, just like a heifer in the cattle world. So they're coming from Missouri, and the first few that left our barn were going back down to Kansas, actually, when they were ready to be bred. Right now we're stocking a brand new sow facility down in Ipswich, South Dakota, which is 40 miles southwest of Aberdeen.
Okay, I got a question for you. Oh,
Nope,
do you want
go
to add
ahead,
on to that
Justin.
before I kind of switch it, Bridgette?
Nope, I've got other places to go with it too. So you go ahead, Justin Storm.
Okay, so I was wondering, because we've been kind of bouncing around between, I don't want to call them extremes, but for lighter words put, more of the extremes from decent amount of rainfall to abnormally dry and hot over the last couple of years. How do the hogs deal with that transition? And when we get those really hot, dry stretches and drought conditions across the area, how do those hogs adapt and how do they behave or handle that extreme heat that we've seen in past years recently?
So our barns are built as tunnel facilities is what they're called. And that when it gets hot, as it gets hotter and hotter in there, they turn on fans on one end of the barn and a curtain opens on the other. So it creates a cool breeze right across the heads and backs of the pigs. And then if it does get above 90 degrees, then there's actually misters that spray a mist and cool them down with the light mist of water also. So that the heat gets controlled by them factors, and I guess of course they're heated in the winter right now. My brother had a Snapchat video that I should have actually saved where he could have crawled up the snow pile, or did crawl up the snow pile and crawled directly onto the roof of our barn as the snow all slid off the side. So
there's so much
inside. Inside that room at that point was 92 degrees, and outside it was like a -8. So
wow, is that like
propane
the
guys
temperature?
like
Oh, I bet they do. Is that like a typical temperature that the hogs like to stay at, around 90 degrees, or is it just warm for that particular day inside of there?
That's just when they come in when they're that little 12-pounders. As they grow in age, when they get closer to 300 pounds, it's down to like 65 degrees in there, kind of the same way we like our air conditioning too.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. So when you said that about the barns, Justin, I thought about biosecurity. That's been a big topic because of what's been going on with bird flu. What types of steps do you take to make sure that nothing comes into your barns that could carry, say, foot and mouth disease, which we haven't found here in the U.S. as of yet, or if you're worried about swine flu or anything like that? What are some of the things that you guys practice regularly?
Yeah, so anybody that steps foot in our barn, we shower in, shower out. And if it's a visitor that isn't there regularly, we have a log that they sign in and tell us where they've been before within the past few days of hog facilities, or how long it's been since they've been in a different hog facility. And then as far as like the truckers, when we're shipping loads out, like we had 2 loads leave this morning, they actually have plastic booties that they wear, and that's while they're in their own truck. They don't leave their truck. They have doors to get in from the side, and then we shove all the pigs out to them.
I see. Well, we're going to hit bottom of the hour. When we come back, we'll continue having this conversation. Again, if you want to join in, feel free to reach out to us. 701-293-9000 is the phone number to call to ask those questions or join in the conversation. But Justin, when we return, I'm curious. I want to know what kind of issues, maybe not on a daily basis, but as a whole, what kind of issues do you have to worry about hogs? Are they prone to any diseases? Is it hard to keep them healthy? And if there are any things that they're kind of susceptible to, what kind of practices and measures do you go to either help them recover or to prevent them from getting sick? So we'll get those questions answered as well as others and yours when we come back.
Why do we see so many Subarus on the roads around us? Because drivers trust Subaru's safety and reliability. According to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com, Subaru is the most trusted brand for 8 years running. Claim one of our incoming new all-wheel drive Subaru models, and you could be enjoying that reliability sooner. Muscatel Subaru, located just off the interstate in Moorhead, or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
Oh, can you imagine a stress-free Sunday with family, friends, fun, and food? You can have it when you make Barron's your new Sunday brunch headquarters. Experience a brunch like nowhere else. Your kids will love the customizable waffle bar, fresh scrambled eggs, thick cut bacon, and much more. Plus, while Mama sips on a mimosa, you can wear out the kids in the arcade at Kingpin's.
For a stress-free Sunday, mention My Brunch Headquarters and receive 20% off brunch at Barron's. Make your Sunday stress-free, filled with great food, no cleanup, and most importantly, where family, friends, fun, and food come together for brunch at Barron's. Go to brunchatbarons.com. Again, brunch at BARONS.com. And don't forget to mention My Brunch Headquarters for 20% off and experience your stress-free Sunday at brunchatbarons.com.
Brunch at Barron's, located inside Kingpin's off I-29 and 52nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your kitchen with new appliances from Regal's. Get up to $2,000 back on select GE Profile appliances now through June 1st, featuring the latest smart home technology, providing a simpler and smarter cooking and cleaning experience. Smart technology means unbeatable prices, plus free delivery and free recycling of your old appliances. Find out why for over 75 years Regal's has delivered value. Regal's, 609 Main Avenue, Moorhead.
It's wild. It's unpredictable. It's back. Shooting Star Casino presents Coors PRCA Championship Rodeo. Friday, March 24th and Saturday, March 25th, 7:30 each night in the Fargo Dome. Top professional contestants from across the nation going head-to-head with the award-winning stock of Mossbrook Rodeos in 7 head-slamming, bone-jamming events and dance each night at Cowboy Jack's. Get tickets at the Fargo Dome box office or Ticketmaster.com. Kids are half price. Coors PRCA Championship Rodeo. March 24th and 25th in the Fargo Dome, where 8 seconds is a lifetime. Sponsored by Holiday Inn Express and your local Ram dealer.
Did you know that just about everything we eat, wear, and use comes from American agriculture? Not only do they provide all that, but help meet needs around the world. During National Ag Week, your friends at Fevig Oil and Propane salute and thank all that work in agriculture. Fevig Oil and Propane is a name you've grown to trust over their 60-plus years of providing propane, farming fuel, and lubricant requirements to the area. Fevig Oil and Propane online at fevigoil.com.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceutical.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:34 this afternoon. We're speaking with Justin Quandt, a hog producer out of North Dakota. And before we went to break at the bottom of the hour, Justin, I was wondering, what are some of the issues that you have to deal with being a hog producer? We hear stories about how cattle and get sick and they have to treat them with antibiotics, and that's a really big regulatory thing because you have to separate the cows that have had the antibiotics till it gets out of their system. Is that a similar thing with the hogs as well? If they get sick, you have to give them the antibiotic to get them better. Do you have to go through those same regulations to keep that out of the food system?
Yeah, so pigs how should I state this? Pigs are a bunch of bullies. really. So anytime you do anything to one pig that the rest of them don't get, it'll get picked on. So anytime we give a pig a shot or anything, we pull it out of the pen for its own safety because we will take and mark it, so that the other pigs will notice when there's a spray paint mark on one pig, they'll pick on that pig, and I mean it'll get picked on until it passes,
Right.
for lack of
Yeah.
a better word. So
Pigs are jerks,
yeah,
Justin.
and
That's what you just said. Those pigs are jerks.
pretty much. So yeah, so we separate them out, and we'll keep a hospital pen in each room in the different age groups, and then as we pull them out of the hospital pen, they'll go into what we call a fallback pen, and we keep them. We don't give them shots after like 50 to 70 pounds most of the time, anyways. If we weren't weaned to finish, we wouldn't probably have shots to give anyways at all. And of course we've been in that nursery too. So I guess the diseases that we've really had to deal with much aren't too debilitating or too contagious. Strep is kind of one of the things that just when they're transported young, they go through a lot of, they're less than 2 weeks old and they're getting transferred 12 hours away, been weaned off their mom for sometimes less than 24 hours before they're shipped to us. So that it's just kind of a growing pain, respiratory disease, and it's really easy to pick out because the pig won't be able to stand up. It'll sit there and run on its side, thinking it just loses its sense of balance completely. And then one of the
So
other
how
ones
about
was Mike.
Oh, you can
Go
carry
ahead.
on. Okay,
One
so
of the
I
other
was gonna
ones
go
that we've
back
had to deal with was
I'm going to go back to the swine flu. Have you had to deal with that in recent years? We've been talking about the whole bird flu going around now, and that's been hitting a lot of the turkey farms and the egg producing farms around the area, and it's been causing higher prices in all of these eggs and lower supply for birds. And we had to deal with that a couple of years ago with turkeys. How does the swine flu in recent years, how have you had to deal with that? Has it been an issue? And when we did see that surge so many years ago, were you affected by that at all?
Well, we've only been hog producers for 2 years and a month and a half, so we're
Okay.
relatively new at this game. So yeah, I do have one of the staff members at North Dakota Corn Council that I'm also a representative there. Her family's hog barn had got PRRS, which has been a very debilitating issue for hogs, mostly because once it's in your barn, you either leave the barn empty for 180 days and you hope that you're in the 40% that killed everything, or you leave the barn empty for 2 years to try to get rid of it. It is just that hardy of a disease that
That's crazy.
just antibiotics in general won't take care of it. So the life cycle of it is that long.
So if
Can
you
you
get that
vaccinate?
in your operation, is this the same thing with the bird flu, or do you have to euthanize all of the hogs that are at this farm, or is there a way around that?
Once you're a PRRS barn, if you decide to not sit for the 2 years, it's a neurological disease. So you just have bigger losses, and basically you're known as a PRRS barn, and you're gonna have that 30 to 40% loss, or 18. I mean, depends on who you talk to,
Right.
on how large the loss gets.
So what happens if this does get into an operation? You said you have to empty the barn out for so long, up to a couple of years. What do you do during that time? Do you just put up another barn and move the hogs from one area to another, or are you just completely SOL until you get this figured out?
Well, I kind of depends on where you're at. Right now, that's the big push for North Dakota swine is that we have the biosecurity because the barns are so far apart. A lot of the vets and stuff that come work up here don't go down into Iowa, like very rarely, to try to keep out of them higher populated areas where you can't guarantee that you're not exposing yourself and in turn the other barns that you go to these diseases that we don't have really cures for yet.
So, Justin, some of our listeners might not realize when you say vets don't go to other barns, in fact, they stay out of Iowa, it's because a lot of this is transmitted through respiratory, correct? It's not even so much about are your boots clean, it's a respiratory transfer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it even on the they say on the wheels of the trucks driving in and out, because a lot of the smaller facilities can only hold a couple tons of feed. So the feed truck will stop at six or eight facilities before it heads back to the feed mill even. Whereas our barns are built that we unload a feed truck every time. Even between our two facilities, the feed truck never goes in between them. So every, and then we don't have rendering up here, which is another way to have direct contact without actually even going in the barn.
Sure. And rendering is simply disposal of deceased pigs. That would be the easiest way to describe it, correct? Okay.
Yep.
So when you were talking about PRRS, Justin, can you vaccinate for PRRS?
No, not yet.
Okay, so that's one thing to wait for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shift gears just slightly. When you ship finished hogs out, because you were talking, 300 pounds, et cetera, where are they headed to? Where are they getting processed?
Mostly Sioux Falls or Sioux City.
Okay.
Is where.
Okay.
When we first started, we had a little bit of a niche market that was going over to northern Minnesota, and I can't remember the name of the town. But yeah, the fats mostly go down to Sioux City or Sioux Falls.
Well, personally, being in Bismarck, I'm planning on going over to Cloverdale later to get a ham. This discussion has really spiked my interest, you might say, in making sure I'm well stocked in pork products by the end of the day. So
this is the world's largest ham you were talking about the other day, isn't it?
I can only hope. I'm going to go take a look and find a giant ham for Easter. That's my plan right now. I'm going to find the big one. So Justin, as we've been talking, I do have a question as well because, again, you're at Oaks. This is Justin Quandt is our guest today. If you have questions, you can reach us on the Red Wing Shoes hotline. You can call us at 701-293-9000. But Justin, you also farm. So I'm curious, does your manure from the hogs go onto some of your cropland as well? Is that kind of a management practice that you're able to follow?
Yeah, so the state of North Dakota regulates manure. Actually, it's mostly by the phosphorus use of your land. So for each of our barns, we have about 1,100 acres of application area. That's why our barns are 5 miles apart from each other, is to get enough acreage around that we own or operate to apply the manure to. And we're a little different in how we're trying to apply the manure. We're creating our own separators because most of the solids in the manure is just hair and corn hulls. So we're screening those out and letting the liquid fall through, and then we're injecting the manure into the water stream and applying it through our pivots onto our standing crop. The ground we farm around the hog barns is very sandy, and with the manure you get a pretty good chunk of readily available nitrogen. So we're worried about losing that nitrogen to leaching, so that's why we apply it in season versus most guys that would apply the manure either through a honey wagon or drag line system in the fall or even spring.
So you had just
Go ahead,
mentioned
Justin.
a term there that I'm not sure what that term was. And I think what you're doing with the separation is a very interesting thing. I got a question on that separately. But what is this leaching, that term that you use? What does that mean?
So leaching is when nitrogen or sulfur mostly travel through the soil profile and go too deep into the profile so that your crop's roots won't reach it.
I see, and that's because of the sandy nature of your soil.
Yeah, if you look on the like ND Soil Science website, they'll have a distance to first impermeable layer. Most of the time, that's where you hit a clay line below your topsoil, anywhere between, in our area, 8 inches to 24 inches, and then you get in the good Red River Valley, and you got 20 foot of topsoil. But it lists that where you have a change, and in our sand, they don't list it. It just goes down forever.
Well, I appreciate that. Bridgette, did you have another follow-up with that? I think I saw you were about to say something before me.
I do. I've got one last question for Justin before we go to listen to the markets from the American Ag Network. Justin, you are a member of the North Dakota Corn Council. Can you tell me what the council does in North Dakota and how you got to be a member of that?
So yeah, the Corn Council, it's North Dakota Corn Utilization Council. We use the checkoff dollars to further corn uses and to protect corn uses and to try to find future better uses to help eat the pile, as we like to say. I got involved because the district person before me was Scott German, and he's also a local hog farmer that, while he was on the council, got North Dakota Livestock Alliance, NDLA, started. And NDLA helped us greatly in getting our hog barns put up. So when Scott asked me to be on the board, I accepted just to give back and help out, as they helped us so much.
I think that's an awesome way for all of us to remember being active in our commodity groups and being active in our communities is still a huge part of what we do every day in agriculture. And thank you to you, Justin Quandt from Oaks, North Dakota, for joining us today to answer all of our questions about those bacon seeds that grow up to be hogs that are going to wind up on my Easter plate as ham. We greatly appreciate that, especially during National Ag Week. We're going to check with the markets from the American Ag Network, and we'll be back to finish up the headlines and the weather right after this.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Rings, rings, rings. Are you looking for an engagement ring, a wedding ring, an anniversary ring? Aaron Wimmer here, inviting you to our special Wedding Ring Spectacular. Wimmer's Diamonds is bringing in hundreds of classic and unique ring styles, May 19th and 20th only. You'll find a fantastic selection at incredible savings. Call or text 701-282-2606 to reserve your spot today. Our Wedding Ring Spectacular, May 19th and 20th, only at Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. Rated #1 in durability and owner experience. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 72 months. Plus, save up to $800 on select equipment. Now through June 30th. See Acme Equipment for full disclaimer. See the full line of Kubota at Acme Equipment on the I-29 frontage road, Fargo.
Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo invites you to join us for worship Sunday mornings at 8:30 and 10:30 and Wednesday evenings at 6. During this time of Lent, our theme is No Greater Love, where we will reflect on God's love for us through the death of Jesus on the cross. Our sanctuary is also open Wednesdays during lunch for individual reflection and prayer, where you can light a candle, leave a prayer at the cross, or simply be still. For more information and to watch all of our services online, go to olivet.org.
Market trade mostly lower. You're listening to the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this market update. Talking now with Arlen Suderman of StoneX. Arlen, as we look at the grain trade first, mostly lower pressure in the soy complex, Chicago wheat, corn holding up with more corn sales to China, but overall feels like this market maybe has a cloud over it with the Federal Reserve meeting wrapping up today. Is that how you see it today?
Yeah, we've really been seeing a cloud hanging over the ag markets for the most part since the bank failure story started to break earlier this month. And that has really kind of cast a gloom and doom attitude among commodity owners. You know, to oversimplify, we're going into recession, so people are going to reduce what they eat. Now, we know that's not true, although they do move down the value chain in a recession, but overall they continue to eat. But nevertheless, that's been kind of what's been dominating this commodity market. In some cases, it may be that they're liquidating positions in order to make up for losses in other markets, but this really doesn't even feel like that so much as more just a negative attitude, and that has turned the charts negative. We've seen that most specifically with the wheat market and with the soybean market, where the charts are broken and the algos then just pile on with more sell orders and the path of least resistance becomes lower. The corn market's a little bit different animal. What we've seen is a strengthening of fundamentals there. The speculative funds, from what CFTC data we have received so far to this point, would suggest that the speculative funds already hold sold positions there. The world is getting tighter of corn. Ukraine's expected half the crop that they had 2 years ago before the war. Argentina's growing maybe 60% of a normal crop. Brazil's crop went in late and is at increased risk. And our planting season looks to be getting off to a rough start here in the United States as well. And China is coming in to buy corn, as you indicated. So corn is the one crop that's not seeing so much selling versus what we're seeing in the other markets.
That's Arlen Suderman of StoneX on the American Ag Network.
Justin? All right. Welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readel, Ag Director. So glad to have you join myself and Justin Storm, meteorologist. Well, we've been talking about all sorts of things when it comes to headlines that are happening in the area, especially because it is National Ag Week, and yesterday was National Ag Day. For those who missed out on why that exists, it started in 1973 by the American Agriculture Council. Their job is to promote all things food and fiber here in the U.S. And we get to talk about all those things on a very regular basis, but I have some fun facts when it comes to the fiber. First of all, I'm not sure if everyone understands that Texas produces about 40% of our U.S. cotton crop. Cotton is also planted starting in March, so there is cotton going in the ground right now here in the U.S., and it's harvested all the way from August through December. There's nothing quite as much fun as when you're driving down I-35 from Kansas into Oklahoma and you see the white cotton in the brown fields because it's ready to harvest and bring those cotton pickers back out. The U.S. does provide 35% of global cotton exports around the world, and upland cotton, as it's called, is grown for 97% of the U.S. cotton production. Know what you can do with that? Well, Justin, you can make 1,256 pillowcases from one bale of cotton. A bale weighs about 480 pounds. And if we remember right, back when the big hurricanes hit Houston, one of the greatest concerns was bales of cotton that were in the field that hadn't yet been picked up and taken to the gin. Those literally, like giant cotton balls, soaked up all the rainfall moisture in those hurricanes, and that cotton was destroyed. You can't remove all of the moisture from it after that's happened. Sad state of affairs in the cotton country that year.
You know, I'm kind of surprised that you can't just stick these inside of let's just call it a big old grain dryer, but let's replace that with cotton dryer and dry it out. I mean, you can't just evaporate the water out of it. It's just trashed at that point.
Let's think about flammability. We talk about that with sunflowers and
Well, yeah, that's a
soybeans,
good
and
point.
sometimes using dryers like that. If you think about the lint in your dryer, the lint from paper towels, light a match and she goes up like crazy. That would still be the same case with cotton as well.
Speaking of it going to crap, we spoke with producer down in Texas, I think it was Mr. Quentin.
Shield Knight. Quentin Shield Knight.
Shield Knight.
Yes.
Yes, Quentin Shield Knight. And due to the derecho that went through and all the dust storms, that it was creating static electricity, and that was ruining their cotton crop down there just due to the static. It was, I think it was killing the plant as a whole, wasn't it?
It was. And can you imagine?
And cotton's just taking a beating.
Cotton, you'd think's a pretty tough plant. It's actually a perennial. If allowed to grow, it would come back every year, but they harvest it as an annual. That is a crop that is very unique. For static electricity to go after it, for the finished product to get ruined in a rainstorm. Man, there are days where we think agriculture is tough up here. Well, it's no different in other places in the country as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, on the terms of agriculture and farming, we talked a lot about unique ways to dispose of weeds, whether it's just plowing them underneath the dirt, lighting them on fire, electrocuting them, chem bombing them. Any way that you can get rid of a weed, we've probably talked about it. Now we get to add another one to our list, and this is one of our ag topics. It's weed shavers.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the weed shaver, but first of all, I don't want to call it chem bombing because we don't. I just want to point out that we use very minute amounts. So if we are spraying a field, take a 12-ounce pop can, that's 3/4 of a pint. You're going to put that in 10 gallons of water. You're going to spray it across a football field, so it's a minute amount that gets used. But back to that weed shaver. It is literally a mechanical implement. It looks a lot like a cultivator, but with very sharp end rows on it. And I'm looking for a picture of it if I can find it in my notes. This weed shaver would fit. It was designed by a farmer in Kansas, and it fits between the rows of his sorghum, his corn, and his soybeans. And he did it because he was concerned about some of the problems that he could see with potentially weeds being tolerant to certain pesticides. So with this implement, he can put it even on his sprayer, run it hydraulically. It goes between the rows and literally cuts off the plant. And he not only has the shaver, but the trimmer just takes it along the top and cuts off the seed pods and flowers and so forth to prevent the seeds from being able to reach the ground. So I thought that was pretty wild. The weed shaver, yet another new idea for weed control.
Man, we'll just strap that one right in the middle on the tractor. We got the flamethrower on the right, we got the taser on the left, and now we got the shaver in the middle.
It's a little bit of everything, right? But farmers are such great inventors because they see a problem and then they go after it to fix it. That's where a lot of our tillage implements have come from, is someone who had a different soil type or rocky ground and said, wait, we got to do something different. And then they just went and built it in the shop. So when they do that, you have the ability then to bring it to market, and it probably fits somebody else's farm too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It's pretty cool things that are coming out of ag. But let's touch on the forecast real quick before we bounce on out of here before the Jay Thomas Show comes up, hosted by Ronnie today. I was mentioning we do have a couple chances for snow, but they don't come through next week, so I'm going to run off the next few days pretty quick. I'll touch more in detail on the Jay Thomas Show coming up here in 7 minutes. Temperatures not budging from today, upper 20s, low 30s, so wind between 10 and 20. Skies will go mainly sunny by the end of the day. Tonight, teens, single digits for lows, mid-20s on Thursday, partly cloudy. Should be a beautiful afternoon. Some fog possible for your Thursday night. On Friday, right around freezing, and we'll stick in the upper 20s to low 30s over the weekend with a variation in cloud cover. Those slight chances for snow come on Monday, Wednesday morning. Pretty insignificant chances. Bigger storm system I'm watching comes in Thursday evening into Friday of next week. We'll keep you up to date on that as the days go on. But from Weather and Ag in Focus, we thank you for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Have a great day. The Jay Thomas Show is next.
970 WDAY.